Welcome to Simply Explained English. I am Lisa.
And I'm Eric. Do you want to improve your English easily? If so, you're in the right place.
Okay, today we'll listen to a podcast about the strange habits of famous people.
Remember, you can get the free transcript file in the description section.
Let's listen to it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Mark, and here with me, Rosa. How are you today, Rosa?
Hi, Mark. I'm feeling great, and I'm really excited about today's topic.
Yes, me too. We'll talk about the strange habits of famous people. These are the unusual, funny, and sometimes surprising routines or habits of well-known figures. Are you ready to dive in, Rosa?
Oh, I am. Famous people can be so fascinating, especially when they have habits that seem, well, let's just say, not so normal. Who should we start with, Mark?
Let's kick off with Albert Einstein. Did you know that Einstein didn't wear socks? He thought they were unnecessary. He didn't like that socks always got holes, so he decided to stop wearing them. But that's not all. Einstein loved to take long walks every day. He said walking helped him think clearly. Sometimes he would even stop and talk to strangers to share his ideas or get new perspectives.
No socks? Maybe he was more focused on his ideas than his clothing.
Yes, I agree, Rosa. Okay, this one is really funny. Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister during World War II, used to work in bed. He spent most of his mornings in bed, writing letters and reading government papers.
That's so interesting. I guess being comfortable helped him think better, and it's a good reminder that even powerful people have their own routines. What's next, Mark?
Let's talk about Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Jobs had a very unusual diet. For weeks, he would eat only one type of food, like apples or carrots. He really knew how to break the mold with his habits. He even believed that this diet would stop him from sweating. Jobs also had a habit of walking barefoot, even in meetings. He said it made him feel connected to his thoughts. Imagine being in a boardroom with Steve Jobs walking around without shoes. It must have looked really interesting.
Oh, yes, and very unusual.
Exactly, Rosa.
Now, Mark, do you know anything about Leonardo da Vinci? Didn't he have a habit of not sleeping during the night?
Yes, absolutely. Instead of sleeping all night, he took short naps throughout the day, a method called polyphasic sleep.
That's so unusual. I've heard that some people say it can help you be more productive, but it must have been hard to keep up. Did it work for him?
It seems like it did. He accomplished so much in his lifetime. Now, let's talk about Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, who has a habit of working extremely long hours. He sometimes works up to 100 hours a week. He divides his day into 5-minute blocks to stay focused and get more done.
That's intense. No wonder he's achieved so much, but I hope he takes breaks too. What about writers, Mark? Do you know any strange habits?
Oh yes, Agatha Christie, the famous mystery writer, had a weird habit. She loved to write while eating apples. She said it helped her think more clearly.
Writing and snacking? That sounds very normal. Oh, and speaking of writers, did you know Mark Twain loved to write while lying down? He would grab his notebook and pen, get into bed or a hammock, and write for hours.
Yes, I know him and his habit.
Okay, well, do you have one last habit to share?
Yes, Rosa. Let's end with a really fun one. Marilyn Monroe, the famous actress, had a habit of doing all her exercises in bed. She believed it was the best way to stay in shape.
That's such a funny image. It just goes to show that everyone has their own way of doing things, even famous people.
Absolutely, Rosa. These strange habits remind us that even the most successful people are human. They have habits, routines, and beliefs that make them unique.
I agree, Mark. It's inspiring to see how these habits sometimes helped their ideas and success. Maybe our listeners can learn something from them.
That's a great idea, Rosa. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We hope you enjoyed learning about these strange habits as much as we did.
Yes, thanks for listening. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time, everyone.
Wow, can you believe Einstein didn't wear socks?
Yes, weird. I wonder what he did in winters.
Yeah, me too. And Steve Jobs walking barefoot in meetings?
Yes, I know it's unusual, but these people are quite extreme, so they might have some unusual habits. It's normal.
Yes, I agree, Eric. Okay, let's start our podcast. What are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is well known. Then we will continue with to accomplish and to keep up with. Then to kick off. And the final one is break the mold.
Let's start with the first word.
The first word is well known.
Well known.
The word well known is an adjective. It means that something or someone is famous or known by many people. For example, person, place, or a fact can be well known.
For example, pizza is well known as a popular food around the world. Most people know what pizza is and enjoy eating it.
Yes. Here's another example. The Eiffel Tower is well known as a symbol of France. This means that many people recognize the Eiffel Tower and connect it with France.
Oh, that's a great example. It also shows how the word can describe famous places.
Yes, Lisa. This word is often used before a noun. For example, you can say, she is a well-known actress. This means she is famous and many people know her.
And remember, it's two words connected with a hyphen. Well known. So don't forget that little dash when you write it.
Good point, Lisa. Also, the word is neutral. It's not formal or informal, so you can use it in any situation.
Okay, well, I think now our followers understand the word well known better. Shall we move on to the next word?
Let's do that. The next word is to accomplish.
To accomplish.
To accomplish is a verb. It means to successfully do something you planned or worked hard for. It's like saying, I finished something important. It often feels like a big success.
That's a great way to put it. For example, she worked hard to accomplish her dream of becoming a teacher. This means she achieved her goal after a lot of effort.
Yes, here's another example. We need to work together to accomplish this project on time. In this sentence, the word accomplish means to finish the project successfully.
So it's about completing something important or reaching a goal, right?
Exactly. Here's a tip. To accomplish is often followed by a noun. For example, he wants to accomplish great things in his life. And it's a formal word, so you'll often see it in business or academic settings, but it's still easy to use in everyday conversation.
Eric, is there a difference between to accomplish and to achieve?
Good question, Lisa. They're very similar, but to accomplish focuses more on completing something, while to achieve can mean reaching a goal, even if it's not about finishing something.
So, as a reminder, to accomplish means to complete or achieve something successfully. It's useful for talking about goals, tasks, and projects. Okay, well, I think we've explained to accomplish pretty well. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is keep up.
Keep up.
Keep up is a phrasal verb. It means to stay at the same level or speed as someone or something. For example, if you are walking with a friend who walks very fast, you might need to keep up so you don't fall behind.
You can use it when talking about walking or running, like, can you keep up with me? It means, can you go as fast as I'm going?
Exactly. Another common use is in learning or work. For example, she studies every day to keep up with her classmates. This means she studies hard to stay at the same level as her classmates in school.
Oh, and it can also mean staying informed, like, I try to keep up with the news.
Great point, Lisa. Now, let's talk about how we use it in sentences. The structure is pretty simple. You can use keep up by itself, like keep up. You can use it with to talk about what you're keeping up with, like I keep up with my emails every day.
I like how flexible this phrase is. Eric, is it formal or informal?
It's mostly informal, but you can use it in formal situations if the context is appropriate. For example, in a business meeting, you might hear, "Let's keep up with the schedule."
Got it.
Before we wrap up, let's review. Keep up means to stay at the same level, whether it's speed, learning, or being informed. It's flexible, informal, and easy to use.
Thank you for the summary, Eric. Let's move on to the next word.
The next word is kick off.
Kick off.
To kick off is a phrasal verb. It means to start something, especially an event or activity. It's often used when something begins in an energetic or official way. It originally comes from sports, like football or soccer, where the game starts with a literal kick. For example, the game will kick off at 3 p.m., but now we use it for many types of beginnings.
For example, can I say, let's kick off the meeting with some updates? Or, they're kicking off the concert with their biggest hit.
Exactly. Both are correct. Now, let's talk about grammar. You can use kick off as a verb, like the event kicks off at noon, but it can also be a noun like the kickoff is at 7 p.m.
Here's a fun example. Imagine you're at a party and someone says, let's kick off the night with some music.
Good one. Here's another. If a new season of a TV show starts, you can say, the new season kicks off next month.
Perfect. Now, Eric, is this phrase formal or informal?
It's neutral, so you can use it in both formal and informal situations. Just make sure the tone matches your audience.
Before we wrap up, let's review. Kick off means to start something, whether it's a game, event, or activity.
And remember, it can be a verb or a noun, and it works in formal and informal situations.
That's it for the word kickoff. Let's move on to the last word of today.
Okay, let's kick off the last word. The last word of today is break the mold.
Break the mold.
Break the mold is an idiom. It means to do something in a completely new way, not following the usual rules or traditions. For example, if everyone makes cakes in a round shape, but you make a cake shaped like a star, you are breaking the mold.
Oh, I like that example. Another example is when a teacher decides to stop giving written homework and instead asks students to make videos to explain what they learned. Is that teacher breaking the mold?
Yes, absolutely, Lisa. This phrase comes from the idea of a mold, a tool used to shape something. When you break the mold, you make something that doesn't follow the same shape or pattern as before.
And in my example, the artist broke the mold by using recycled materials for all her sculptures. This means she didn't follow the usual way of making art and did something original.
So here's a quick tip about this phrase. You can use it in both formal and informal situations. It's often used when talking about innovation or doing something new.
That's interesting. Can you also say breaking the mold when someone's actions surprise everyone because they're so different?
Yes, exactly. It's a great way to describe something unexpected and innovative. And just a reminder, this phrase shows positivity. It's about being unique in a good way,
That's right. Okay, well, I think now our listeners understand the phrase break the mold better. Well, that's it for today's episode of Simply Explained English. We hope you found the words helpful and the explanations easy to understand.
Thanks for listening. Keep studying your English.
And stay tuned. Bye for now.